I got summoned to another world 2 years too early. So when the hero ritual finally happened, I was already the monster in the forest. Everybody in the legend said heroes arrive in a cathedral of light, get handed a holy system, and immediately become humanity's last hope. I got dropped face first into a swamp 2 years before the ritual even happened. No light, no welcome party, no pants that matched the climate, just a broken system, a demon-haunted forest, and a world that had no idea the monster was already here. The last thing I remembered from Earth was microwaving leftover pizza. Next second the floor vanished. I fell through white light, black smoke, and something that felt like getting shredded by thunder. I woke up choking in knee-deep mud under 2 moons, giant trees, glowing mushrooms, something howling from my organs. Then the voice hit my skull. Hero system boot sequence initiated. Location mismatch. Temporal mismatch. Date error. Minus 730 days. I sat up. Minus what? Before it could answer, it screamed. Catastrophic threat detected. Ash Tyrant WRM progenitor. Probability of host death, 99.998%. Final advice, die with dignity. I looked down. A fat red worm was crawling over my boot. I stomped it. Pop. The system went silent for 2 seconds, then started vomiting rewards. Lesser Dragonhide. Amber Resistance. 5 years mana accumulation. I stared at my boot, then at the sky. You've got to be kidding me. The system sounded personally offended. Future evolution line confirmed. In 413 years, that worm would have melted fortress walls. I laughed so hard I almost fell back into the mud. So you don't scan what things are. You scan what horrible bullshit they become later. Correct. That is the dumbest useful thing I've ever heard. The forest spent the next month trying to murder me, and the broken system spent that month making me stronger every time I survived at something stupid. Thumb-sized leech. Future blood marsh sovereign, iron blood physique. Silver spider. Future void weaver matriarch, perfect comprehension. Tiny glowing lizard. Future storm drake, wind affinity, and static resistance. By the time I crawled out of Black Pine Forest, I looked like hell and hit like a war god. First town was Greyhaven. They nearly shot me on sight. I got hired as night watchman and archive assistant because nobody else wanted the job. That library became my obsession. I wasn't naturally talented. I was just methodical, stubborn, and had a defective prophecy engine feeding me absurd rewards. I learned aura circulation the hard way, mana shaping the hard way, sword forms the hard way. While everyone else saw a mediocre night shift guy, I was quietly turning into something else. That was when Claire Ashford showed up. 16. Loud. Stubborn. Already the best sword prospect in the city. Blonde ponytail, training bruises, and an attitude like the world owed her a better fight. The system lit up like Christmas. Future sovereign grade individual detected. Name Claire Ashford. Future title, Radiant Queen of Veildorn. Recommended action, secure allegiance immediately. I decided to train her instead. Quietly. At night. Outside the walls. No witnesses. For 2 years Greyhaven thought Claire became a genius all by herself. I let them believe it. It was easier than explaining I was a time-displaced glitch raising the kingdom's future queen between shelving books and stepping on baby apocalypse creatures. The closer the hero summoning got, the uglier things became. Demon raids intensified. Cult activity spiked. I spent 6 months secretly prepping the cathedral undercroft with counter runes, traps, and emergency wards. When the day finally came, the capital packed the streets. Bells rang. Priests chanted. Nobles preened. They expected a miracle. They got me. 30 seconds before activation the attack started. Blood rune detonation. Demon strike force dropping through the ceiling. Winged fiends. Hornshock beasts. An armored champion with an abyssal halberd. Chaos. Blood. Screaming mages. The summoning circle twisted and fractured. I dropped from the gallery into the aisle, drew my plain steel sword and let my aura go. The air changed. Mana pressure slammed across the cathedral like a hammer. Claire stepped up beside me, radiant blade blazing. My master, she told him. I hit the first demon so hard the slash took its head, its wing, and half a stone column. We carved through them. When the champion finally met me at the ritual circle, we traded blows that turned the floor to gravel. On the 4th exchange I stepped back, he overcommit, Claire hit his side, and I drove my blade through his throat in a burst of compressed wind aura that shattered the stained glass above us. The circle was failing. The rift was tearing. So I stepped into it. This time the magic knew exactly who I was. The fractured light stabilized around me, like a lock finding its key. The rift snapped shut instead of exploding. The ritual technically succeeded. Not the way they expected. No fresh heroes arrived from Earth. Because their hero had already been here for 2 years. Freezing in swamps, grinding in libraries, and turning himself into the worst mistake the demons ever made. The king tried to knight me on the spot. The archmages wanted to study me. Half the nobles looked offended that the savior was some random librarian. I turned them all down. I wasn't their shiny chosen one. I was the guy who showed up early, learned the map, trained their future queen, and made the apocalypse regret ever starting the timer. Claire looked at me grinning. So what are you now? I glanced at the scar burning across my palm and the silver mana rolling under my skin. I'm the guy who got here first. Somewhere far north, beyond the mountains, the demon front started moving again. Good. Let them come. They spent centuries planning for a hero who would arrive right on schedule. They had no plan for the one who got here 2 years early, and already became a monster in the forest. Thanks for listening on Hidden Thread Teller. Like, follow, and share if you want more stories like this. It really helps the channel grow.